Today, the novels of Charles Martin are available in 20 countries and printed in 17 languages. But success didn't come overnight for Charles. All told, he received 86 rejections before he got a contract for his first book. Take a look.
Charles Martin has been writing stories since he was 15.
The Lord gave me the pen to sort of express whatever was bubbling up inside me. I was able to get on a page, but I couldn't get out my mouth.
Charles put his dream to be a writer on hold until after graduating from Regent University's master's and doctorate programs. He continued writing, but took a job selling insurance to support his family. Since then, Charles has written 11 best-selling novels, including his latest, Water from My Heart, a suspenseful story of love and redemption.
Welcome back to the 700 Club. A former alumnus of Regent University, Charles Martin. It's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
You turned down a six-figure salary with a six-figure bonus to become a writer.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know that my father-in-law was too pleased with that. He's since become a really great fan, so I'm grateful. But it seemed, you know, I look back on it and I think, I wonder if I'd have the faith to do that again.
Yeah, you get what you need when you need it, right?
Amen, yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about those rejections, because, you know, you see in movies and you read in stories of people who are writers how many times that rejection letter comes.
Early in my career, I read that F. Scott Fitzgerald had This Side of Paradise was rejected 126 times.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, that's my marker. So I put a little yellow sticky on the corner of my monitor, and Christy and I began sending out queries. And then the rejections came in, and I thought, well, you know, if we get there, I'll quit and I'll go do something else. And 86 was getting really close.
Wow. At what point did you quit what you were doing to raise money to support your family and embrace writing as this is what I'm going to do?
I was selling insurance. The Lord did some neat stuff with me in my career, and I had a chance to either choose business or not. And it seemed like it was just a life on a silver platter, and Christy and I wrestled for a long weekend. And I didn't want it. I didn't want to sell insurance. I had this manuscript in a drawer, and I thought maybe I could be a writer, but there's no path to get here. It's not like if you do this and this, then you can end up here. And we spent a long weekend fighting, not like angry at each other, but
right.
Who are you and what do you want to be when you grow up? And along about Sunday afternoon, Christy came to me and really gave me permission, and she did, because I didn't want to do it alone.
Sure.
She really gave me permission to say,
well, when you're married, you're a team.
You're a writer.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get with you to your age 40 and you turn around and tell me you could have been somebody else.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, when I turned 40 was when my first book hit the New York Times list.
That's awesome. You say that you write redemptive fiction. What do you mean by that?
Somebody described my writing that way in the past year or two, and it sort of took me off guard, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, but it's kind of come home and I like it, and the only way I know how to describe it is this: I write it because I need it. To some extent, I'm writing the stories I wish I could read.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scriptures is, hope is the anchor of the soul, sure and steadfast, that enters the presence behind the veil. If I'm not writing something that's hopeful, if you don't close it and feel something hopeful, I missed it.
Yet your latest, Water from My Heart, is your 11th.
Yeah.
You know, this takes place in Nicaragua. I always marvel when I've read your books in the past, and you know, I'm getting into them and I'm thinking, how does he have all this detail? This is in Nicaragua. Why?
In '99, Hurricane Mitch hovered over Nicaragua, caused a massive mudslide. 3,000 people died. I was brought in as a green writer to tell a portion of this story. I met a farmer and his family. They loved on me. I stayed in their tin-roof, dirt floor house.
Wow.
Spent the night with a pig in my room because they were afraid someone would steal it. They've become family. We've stayed in touch for 15 years. I've been back several times. I'm going back this November. It's the place on planet Earth where the Lord pierced me with, for the first time, really being able to see the poor.
Yeah.
And I confronted, really, I talk about this in the back of the book, I confronted my own indifference, my sort of I don't care-ness.
Yeah. You write, this whole thing begins and revolves around, I'm not going to give away anything because I want people to write it, but drug running. So let me just ask, how'd you research that? The
internet is a wonderful tool. I've just, really, I saw some documentaries. I talked to some friends who have friends in Miami that ran drugs. I spent some time in Miami. I didn't meet any drug dealers or anything, but I do have a pretty active imagination.
Yeah, I guess. Well done. Well done. Talk a little bit about Nicaragua and what you've been able to do there since meeting the family you talked about. You know, indifference is really the sin of those who have, because we shouldn't be able to look at that and walk away.
The family there, Moises and his family, he calls me mi hermano, he calls me my brother, and they have just taken me in. I love their children. They're truly like family. So I think the best way to describe my ministry there is a ministry of presence. I mean, yes, we've put roofs on houses and churches, and we've dug wells, and we've bought cows, and we now have 14 cows, and we have land, and we're planting, and right now there's a drought, and the seeds are, we've done a lot, or the Lord's done that through us, but really, they've done far more in me, and I just love them. I'm looking forward to going back there.
It's the privilege of relationship with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is number 11. What's next?
My next story, I think, well, it's about a gifted musician who reaches a pinnacle and causes his own downfall and loses his song. We meet him a decade later when he's dying and trying to figure out who to give his song to.
Wow. We'll look forward to that.
Thank you.
Another wonderful book from Charles Martin. It's called Water from My Heart. You will thoroughly enjoy it. You can find it wherever books are sold. Bless you as you work on the new one. We'll look forward to hearing about it.